Hi, Kiki.
Hi.
Hi, Kiki. Kiki's from the producer, founder, boss lady of Crazy Woke Asians. Look at her background. That's such a cool logo. Okay, and then also, okay, so Kiki's a producer, director,
Mhm.
comedian, actor, mom, wife. She wrote the screen. You're a screenwriter too. I can't stand you. Every
I,
time I list her credits, I'm like, I
I'm
can't stand her.
exhausted. I'm
Huh?
exhausted. I'm exhausted hearing that. I don't know. It's just I have no choice. I'm an Asian and a woman and an immigrant. I don't English is my second language. I don't know. I have to do a lot of stuff to prove myself. I don't know.
You think so? You think that's why you work so hard?
Part of it, like subconsciously. I
Yeah.
and I probably be like no, but now I'm like at peace with them, like, yeah, so what, it's okay. Because, with my mom, I had to prove myself, my parents.
Yeah. Did you grow up with both parents? I can't remember. 'Cause you talk about
Yeah.
your mom a lot,
Oh, yeah.
but not
Because
your
my
dad.
dad
Oh,
is
just your
bad.
dad. Your dad talking about the pager. I remember
Yeah.
the pager.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, he's not around anymore, but yeah, I mean, I grew up with him, but he was gone a lot because he worked really hard. He had his own company in Hong
Mm,
Kong. And then even when we immigrated to Seattle, he was flying like months at a time away, you know? So,
yeah.
and then he had cancer in his nose.
Mm. In
Yeah.
his nose?
Yeah, nasal cancer.
Oh, interesting. That's like the first time I ever heard it.
Oh yeah, that's very popular in Hong Kong.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
But he
So
didn't smoke, but he still got it. He's a very intense person.
so you grew up seeing both your parents work really hard.
My mom, not as much. Like,
Mm,
by then, she was more like, um, I don't know what she was doing. I think she was, buying groceries, and because my dad's he had nothing, and then he worked really hard. He built his fashion empire in a way. Like, he was
mm,
a musician, he was an entertainer, and then he went to business school, and then he built his fashion business. He was the licensee for Walt Disney and
mm-hmm.
like Batman and Garfield. So they manufactured and designed clothes, and so growing up, I was with a very fashionable background. And my mom, she worked hard, and then she started, being the housewife that, she
Oh
deserved
yeah.
after a while. And she worked really hard. And then when my dad started making, more money,
Uh-huh.
that, she hired a nanny and a driver in Hong Kong, which is very common, like a little bit
Very
upper
cool.
middle class, but it's not as expensive in America.
What so wow. So you got your boss lady talents from your dad's side, from your dad,
Oh
because
yeah.
he just has it in him. So
Oh,
okay, I have so many questions to ask you because there's Crazy Woke Asians, and then there's Sweet and Sour Chicks, which is your new comedy series. And there's the comedy show. So okay, let me start with what is your favorite which title is your favorite? What's your favorite position? Producer, comedian, actor, director. What do you like doing the most?
entertainer.
You like all of it.
I like to be an entertainer, or storyteller, or I don't know. Yeah,
Because you uh-huh.
it depends on the situation.
So you like all of it equally.
Yeah, I'm like a chameleon. Yeah, whenever it suits me. Yeah, I like all of it. Like, I get addicted to all of it. Like, if I'm doing a lot of comedy, suddenly I'll be like, oh, man, I miss writing. And then if
Ah.
I'm writing a lot, then I'm like, I need to produce a show or produce something creative. Like,
Oh, so you get like really obsessed with one thing at a time and then
yes,
you switch it.
yeah.
That's so crazy because Kiki, I'm telling you, I tell everybody this. Like you are a kick-ass producer.
Oh, that
Like
makes
kick ass. And you know what? There's a lot of producers, quote unquote, in Los Angeles,
yeah, there are a lot.
but not everybody sells out shows every single time the way you do. And how do you seem to find, and you find all the funniest Asians? Like, how did you find everybody? You just, how did it start?
Well, at first I was like doing these shows. I was like the token Asian, and then I met a couple, and then I met Jason Cheney at Dow Comedy Studio
God, he's
here.
hilarious.
I was like, man, he's good looking and funny. Like, what? And then I searched him, and I was like, wow, he won the World Series of Comedy. He's smart, and he has a wife, and he seems to be really cool. And then from then I met some other. I don't remember who else I met. I mean, I googled Esther Koo. Like I've always loved Esther
Mm.
Koo. She's so
Mm-hmm.
cute and she's just not afraid to say stuff, even if it's controversial. And
Mm-hmm.
then I googled George. You know, when I googled before I start doing, I was like Asian comedian. It was like George and Esther Koo that I saw that I really liked. Like they, I don't know. George talked about his dad and his mom, and George Wang, and then
Yeah.
I really thought he was funny and good looking. Cause you know how they like to make the Asians like
So
frumpy and just
dorky and yeah,
boring and like
nerdy.
ugly and just like ugh. Like
Right.
so I was
Yeah.
like, these people, they're like hip and stylish. They like look like normal Asians to me,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
and they're funny. So I was like, oh, I want to get them on the show. And then I also was searching and I found Sherry Cola. I was like, man,
Mm.
this girl can rap and she's talented. And then so from there I got referrals from Jason and from I don't know, I forgot who, but then I just put it. So the very first show at Dow Comedy Studio, thanks to Chris and Bobby, they're
Uh-huh.
so yeah, we sold out. And I think Esther was there, Alex Duong, Isaac Allen. So Isaac, I met him from San Diego when I was producing a sketch comedy show. There were no Asians, so I found him and Chip Nicholson. They were roommates. So
Nice.
him and I thought he was funny and
Yeah.
tall. And
And tall.
I, yeah, and so I remind I'm reminded of who, when I meet people and they're cool,
Yeah.
and then so I brought them back. So I had like a bunch, and I thought, yeah, I just want to put like 6 or 7 or 8, and I had Mark Christopher Lawrence,
Mm.
Black Knees,
So funny. But everyone, because I was like, man, I've never seen so many funny, talented Asians in one show. You
right?
know?
Because I've never seen either. Oh, and there was Grace Ching or Grace Ching or Chang. I forgot, but it's Grace. I met her through Instagram and I saw all her funny videos. I was like, you're so funny. She's from Dubai. And then so she flew out here, stayed at my place for a little bit. And she did that very first show too. And then I had an improv group because
Mm-hmm.
one of my friends from Freehold Studio Theater in Seattle, that I knew her from Seattle, and then Julie, and then we connected because I was doing my one woman show. And
Mm-hmm.
then she was in some sketch group at the UCB.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, man, I want to bring people that I know. So she gathered up her UCB improv group. And so we had an improv, we had, all the, yeah, it was really
But
fun.
how do you see? This is why I started the show, because then I want to know how you, as a woman and being a
Mhm.
minority, like Asian, how do you just not give a fuck? How do you just go, well, I'm just gonna do it, and I'm gonna email the Comedy Store, and I'm gonna ask if I can do a show there, or I'm gonna email Comedy Palace in San
Oh,
Diego. How do you do that?
it's been 20 years of failure. Like I just don't give a
20
fuck.
years? What do you
I'm
mean?
like I've been doing theater and performing and producing since Seattle. When I see two audience members, I've seen where I've done shows in Seattle, San Diego, like 5 people, and I perform
Oh,
like it's full house. So I mean, you people see like, wow, it's how, but it's like it's I've been doing this and failing and trial and error. So to
oh,
me, I you know I have agents in Seattle, and because I act too, and I audition, and I just got sick of at some point, like I just got sick of waiting, and asking for permission, or just feeling like I need a lot of support or approval or someone tell me to do it. I just kind of knew I had to do this. Like when I
mhm,
started really producing and acting and writing, I was like, there's nothing out there in Hollywood or on TV that I really, really relate to. And that
mm,
made me really angry.
mhm.
So
Yeah,
yeah, the anger can turn into motivation. And
yeah,
I worked in Hong Kong too, and I enjoyed it. I learned a lot, and it's different, but it's showbiz. It's
yeah.
similar, and I see how you just really gotta take things in your own hands sometimes. And I have that talent from my dad. He's
Mhm.
really a boss, but he's like over bossy, which I've learned in time to
to
balance it.
to simmer it down a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah, to take care of people, because I've seen how it can backfire. But
yeah,
I just always have like kind of like an entrepreneur spirit because of
yeah.
my dad, because he didn't have his family when he was young. Like his mom died when he was. I've never met my grandparents, so he worked really hard. But the only thing is, he was a really good entertainer. He self-taught piano, keyboard, drums, guitar. He was so
Wow.
amazing. Like he could sing like Elvis Presley, like
Wow.
amazing.
And that's why
But he
you wanted to
decided
be a singer. You wanted to be a singer when you were growing
I want
up.
to be a
Yeah.
pop singer because
Yeah.
I grew up in a very very musical family. Like I
Yeah.
played the I was gonna be a classical pianist. Like I sang, I painted. I was so musical. Like my life was music. Like
Hmm.
every day 5 hours piano, like then singing. It was just like, well, what else do I want to do? But then my parents also discouraged me. They're,
Why?
they're like, singers and actresses are whores. Like prostitutes. Yeah, because
I mean, they're not completely wrong.
they're not, because in Hong Kong that's how it goes. You gotta
Yeah.
find a sugar daddy, and it's complicated. And my
Hmm.
dad
Hmm.
was in that business, but he decided not to be. So, but then later on in his life, he kind of told me he wished he kept the music because who knows? I mean, he was so good that he almost got a recording contract, and then he
Wow.
gonna do business because it was more legitimate, and like
Yeah.
people will respect you more. So I kind of thought about that, and I always think I'm just gonna do what I love.
Hmm.
It's hard. Maybe I can't make stable income all the time, but I'm just gonna do it.
Because
And
you
I
love
try
it.
to do other things, but I can't.
But you know what? You're so good. You know what it is about you? It's very hard to say no to you.
Really?
It's very hard. Has anyone ever told you that?
No.
I don't, okay. Well, I'll be the first to tell you. Some people are not as outspoken as I am, but it's like so there, and it's not a bad thing because you like motivate people or you bring something out of because you're so passionate about what you do. And it's like when you ask for something, you don't think that person will say no. Does that make sense? So she'll go, like, we were the first in quarantine, and she's like, "Hey, Lynn, you want to do this karaoke, Instagram? Remember you
Yeah.
Instagram stories karaoke?" And I was like, I'm only going to do it because Kiki asked me. I would not have done it if you didn't ask me. If it was anyone else, I wouldn't have done it because I would just been like, why? But
Oh,
because you're so excited about it and you're just so
mhm.
like, and you make, I think it's your charisma too. Like you make people feel special,
You
you
are
know?
special. That's why
Yeah, I know. But then I was like, so it's hard to say no. So I can see how you get what you want. I can see how the Comedy Palace and, the Comedy Store and stuff don't say no to you.
I did my comedy palace. I did my one woman show there.
Ah,
I
nice.
don't know how. I think I was co-hosting Asian Voices, this
Mm,
Asian American cultural TV show in San Diego. It's
mm-hmm,
on like Fox 4, and I worked with them for a long time. I became friends with them, and I think they knew the Comedy Palace owner. And then
mm,
she was like, and then I started doing comedy, yeah, or something. It's weird. I don't. And then somehow she introduced me, Kathleen Choi.
mm.
She's like an amazing Korean chef. You see her on her go Google. I'm giving shout outs while I'm doing this.
She's name dropping. Uh-huh, uh-huh.
She's great. She's very very nice and supportive of crazy woke Asians too. So.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, I feel like every time things happen, it's not me just contacting people. Hey, can I? It's like someone knows someone, and then they,
Mm,
hey, I hook you up, and I hook them up, and it's like connection, and it's connecting, and just caring about people, and creating
yeah,
opportunities for each other. And so
yeah.
I did my one woman show there, and then the owner loved it, and I did it in the smaller room because the main room, because it was like a one woman show where I acted 20 characters and did props and all that
Wow.
stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was like, the smaller room might be better because it's more secluded with a door.
Uh-huh.
So I did it there, and after that, like when I started doing Crazy Walk, I was like, I want to do a show in San Diego. I was like, oh, Comedy Palace, of course, why not?
Nice.
And then they're like, well, do the main room, like do it. And I was like, yeah, I gotta bring Lynn. When I saw you on Laugh Factory, I was like, who the hell? Who? What? Like I was like, oh my gosh, she's so great and funny. Like I love
You're
her.
like,
She's
she's
30,
Asian.
and then she's just like, oh, I was like, oh my gosh, a mom and Asian, I can relate. Like I couldn't find any Asians and moms that's been doing it for a while. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't find anyone actually. Like I
And,
Ali
and
Wong, but I don't
I
know who
know.
that.
But like Kiki's so, and you're on it, dude. Like you don't miss a beat. Every time I describe you, I will say the same things over and over until my face turns blue. But like you don't miss a beat. You don't. Like the minute you see something, you like it, you see someone you want on your show, you just go
Oh,
after,
yeah.
you just ask. You don't
Yeah.
wait.
I'm
And
like,
that's why with Kiki, like she always gets things done. And that's why people who get things done like other people who get things done. Like, don't you hate it when you're a producer and you email people and they just like don't give a shit about your email?
oh yeah. But I don't really email people. That's the thing. I don't
anymore.
only like I never really did in the beginning. I just grouped
Yeah.
them on my Instagram and see when I saw you, I was like, oh, who's that? And I found your.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm gonna DM you. That's what I
Right.
did. It was so quick, and I don't email because I think I did maybe once or twice in the beginning, and then people don't really. I don't know. Comedians are different. Like
Yeah.
I'm feeling them out from actors. Actors like emails like
True.
all
True.
time.
That's true. That's
You know,
true.
you
And she even
understand?
did a Crazy Woke Asians festival. I was like, I don't know how. I'm like, I do one show and I'm like exhausted. And you like
Oh,
produced a whole virtual festival, you
yeah,
know?
well, it started from the 2019 when we did the actual festival at the big
Yeah.
stage, and I was so excited. And you know why I did that? Because I was doing my one woman show,
Yeah.
and I feel like I was the only Asian that was doing the one woman show at their festival or something. There must have been someone, but maybe mixed. But I was
Yeah.
like doing like an autobiographical Asian story, like immigrant story. So
Yeah.
when I've been in theater production for so long, I kind of see, and I've worked crew and all kinds of different positions in production. So
Hmm.
I learned a lot about producing stuff already. So, and I was very comfortable at Santa Monica Playhouse because I performed there and stuff. And so when I got all these comedians like, man, we should do a festival, but make a solo performance in case they want to branch out and not just be
Yeah.
stuck doing stand up. That's
Right.
why I labeled it solo performance.
Right.
I feel like because I watched a lot of John Leguizamo. I
Yeah.
told you about John
Right.
Leguizamo. His show Freak was what inspired me. It was so amazing, so
Mm.
funny, and give it up to him. And so I figured maybe other comedians just want to do more, you know, stand up with storytelling, or and then from that it really, like, Percy Rastamjit, created his one man show, and it's amazing, that Indian, um
Right.
the
Yeah.
gay and Indian, and
Yeah.
he's so, because I see, like, I feel like I have an eye for talent. Like, I
Yeah.
see Percy, I feel like he's so big and funny, and he can move and sing. So I was like, Percy, you gotta do a one-man show. Like, I feel like stand-up is not enough, like, to, like,
Mm.
I feel like for people to get the full force of Percy, like,
Yeah.
so, like, people like that, like Isaac, he could sing, so I kind of approached it, but he was touring, and, like, like, Yoshihara, like, she had a one woman show already, and
Yeah.
I told you about, she's so good,
Yeah.
like, her stand up is growing, but you see her one woman show, I was so impressed. She did so many characters.
Wow.
The direction of it was so great. The way she staged the show, it was, and then you get to know the comedians, and
Hmm.
have so much respect for them when through that festival, because they really worked. Some of them did 45, 50 minutes, like,
Yeah. And we're
and
Asians. We're not foreign to hard work. Like we don't know any other way. We really don't. We don't know any other way. Like we just, if we want to do something, we're going to study, study, study. It's what we
yeah,
do.
yeah, and we want to be number one.
And you know what, to your shows, for Kiki's shows, if you ever, when we open again, or even virtual shows, like every time we go to your show, the audience is so hyped that even if you had one comedian who wasn't as funny or whatever, who fell flat that day, or whatever, no one notices.
Oh, really?
No one
I do.
notices.
But
Everyone's still excited. You know what I mean? Because the crowd is so amped. Like they're just, you
yeah,
know, and they're so
yeah,
supportive. And, they're probably never seen so many talented Asians in one room on one stage that they're
right.
probably like,
Yeah,
yeah, this is amazing. There's
yeah,
something about the energy of it that
yes.
it doesn't bomb. You don't your shows don't bomb. It just
I just
doesn't.
I think it's God. Like, I really pray over stuff, like, I really do. I pray for the comedians sometimes right before I go like the night before, and I
Oh
pray for
yeah.
the audience to get it too. Yeah, I know. I
Oh, that's so sweet.
no, I really do. Like, the other day I did the comedians party panel. I pray for the whoever needs to see. I pray that I'm just like, let it go. Like, lately I've been doing let go, let God. Like, I'm trying to just.
Mm,
I mean, anybody, you don't have to believe, but it's just like, because being a mom, being a comedian, being a producer is so stressful. If I just take on everything that on my shoulder, I think I won't live. So a
mm,
lot of it I give it up to
yeah.
God, and it really helps me to just have my faith and just let it go. And so I'm going on a tangent, but yeah, I think the energy that it gives me, it kind of invigorates me too. Like, I would take a nap and pray right before a show. Like, but I cannot be like, hey comedians, let's pray. But I just send a good
Yeah.
energy out, and I really think
Oh,
that makes a difference. I really believe that makes a difference for my shows.
wow.
Like I've been doing this praying stuff for, I don't know, for a long time, since
That's a
Seattle.
great tip though. Because I was seriously, I was just going to ask you, how do you keep yourself from being overwhelmed? But you just answered that question. You
Yeah. Yeah, and it's easy
just
to
let it
compare
go.
yourself or feel like it's not enough space, or like,
Mm,
people, it's easy. You look on Instagram, you start comparing, you start saying, oh, she's doing this or that and then like when I have my faith, then my spiritual relationship that I for I sound so but
it
I
works.
need it, like lately, especially lately, I need it because I've been very stressed out and depressed because
Yeah.
do live shows, and I'm not I can't sit still, like it's
No, she can't. This is
it's
true.
very tough, and I love my son and my family, but it's tough. So I mean, and then it's just easy to fall into like, oh gosh, this is over.
Yeah.
Comedy
Yeah.
is no more. So my faith really helps me, like, okay, this is the reason. There's a reason behind this, and reset. And I'm glad because it forced me to do this comedy panel show that day, which I wanted you to be on, but you weren't.
Yeah. I was
It
already booked.
fine.
Boo.
Well, we're doing it next year again. So it went really well. So I feel like it's all got, and the fact that Santa Monica Playhouse it's all like connected. Like it because I was driving from San Diego to LA to do this musical. I auditioned for them,
Yeah.
and I would drive 3 hours each time, like with my son sometimes for rehearsal,
Wow. Yeah.
and I would go home right after. Like, and then I was like, oh God, why am I doing this? I literally remember asking guy, like, I love to perform, but like, is it a little too far? And I mean,
Mm.
it didn't pay a lot or anything. It was just, I play an elf. It was really fun, but it was like a lot. I was still nursing my son and had to pump
Mm.
every 3 hours while I was doing. And
Wow.
but then after that, it led to me doing my one woman show there, and
Yeah.
then it led to me, asking, hey, what about Asian Solo Festival, and
Yeah.
then hey, let's do a Crazy Work Asian show there, which, like, I think the second or third show we did it at the main stage there, and we sold out there, and it was. I was like, I cannot believe, because for years my shows weren't like this in San Diego or Seattle. So this is still, I'm digesting it. So when people tell me,
Ah.
oh, wow, how do you sell? I'm like, I don't even know. It's got like
Yeah.
timing. I think really is timing too, and like
Yeah.
just keeping at it. And I think the timing is a lot. So
And
from
you uh-huh. Uh-huh.
oh, go ahead.
From there. No, I was just gonna say, and it's meant for you.
Yeah, and because who knew from Santa Monica, I was
Mm-hmm.
driving like that, be playing an elf, and bringing my son to. Now I just did the Saturday, night. We did the comedy panel,
Mm-hmm.
and the background, it looked like I was on a game show. I was just like, I can't believe this. I mean, I sent them the slides and the stuff, and then they created it, and they're
Oh,
so supportive. And I did not even ask. I thought it was just gonna be the logo up there, right? Like,
yeah.
I didn't want to do a tech like usual when I
Yeah.
do theater shows, because I didn't want to bother them with too much, too much time,
Mm-hmm.
So we went there a few hours before, and I was like, wow, they like took the time. And like usually I'm running the stuff myself on Zoom too. Of
Yeah.
course, my husband helped me at the comedy store,
Yeah.
like the music. So like they were running 3 cameras, they were doing the Q lab. I was like, man, thank you. I just feel like sometimes it's just like the how do you say it? I don't know. It's destiny that
Yeah.
it happened
I
that
believe
way.
that.
I wasn't expecting. I was just like, I love to do some performance. I'm gonna drive 3 hours with my son car to do this,
Right.
and it happened to be like, oh, we're gonna do shows there, festivals. I wasn't like,
Yeah.
oh, this is my way to go try to get my show. I didn't even have a show.
Ah. You were just in the moment. So you were just in the moment doing what you love, and then one thing led to another for you.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Yeah, and I felt the call,
Dang.
like, you should do it, and it didn't sometimes didn't make sense, but you should do it. Just like, my comedy, like, I'm not sure. I don't even know if I'm funny. Well, because I was doing my one woman show, and actually my agent's husband he came up to me afterwards. He's like, "Do you ever try stand up?" And a few other people, after they saw my one woman show, they're like, "You do stand up," and I was like, yeah, right. Like, whatever. That's super hard. Like, no thanks.
Yeah.
I had a friend from college. She did it. I was like, yeah, she can do it. She's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember seeing her in New York doing. Well, I didn't see her in. I went to New York. I went to see comedy shows with her, but I saw her tape when she did a show in New York. I was like admiring. I was like, wow, I can never do that. And
And now you are.
it's so weird. And
Yeah.
then after I gave birth to my son, I was like, I'm bored. I need to get out. And then I used like $500 of my this acting gig that I did,
Yeah.
this money that I had, because I was staying at home with my son for what I was like, you know what? I'm gonna use this money and go pay for a class. And my husband was like, I'm not paying for it. I'm like, you're not, okay?
What the
I'm
hell?
paying for it.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna do this for me, for
Mm-hmm.
me. I wasn't thinking any. I was like, I'll just do it. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
nothing happens. Maybe it'll be. I can use some material for my one woman show.
Right.
And then I was living in West Covina by then, which is far. The 60 where all the Asians are. You have
Yeah.
you been there?
Yeah.
Far. I don't ever.
West
So I
Covina, and you drove to Sherman Oaks for
yes, like
class?
it was like almost an hour and a half, 2 hours. It's like traffic time.
Yeah.
Classes was I forgot.
7:30 or something.
Yeah.
7:30.
So
Mm-hmm.
around 5, I would have to leave. And I was like
Yeah.
bumping in the car too, because I
Wow.
hours
Yeah.
I had to. Oh, it's crazy. I
Dude.
sometimes I look back, I don't know why what you're not. So that's why I say my faith, my
Yeah.
spiritual side. It gives me the energy because I'm
Because especially being a mom, like some days I don't know how I get through it. You don't even know how you get through a certain day, like one day.
oh
It's like, how
goodness.
did I even make it this far? You know? You don't
Where's
know.
where is he right now?
Oh, he's at his friend's place.
Oh, that's
Thank God,
nice.
girl, because it's
That's nice.
silent in here and it's quiet.
Yeah. I was
I
like,
sat I know you're like, I don't hear anything. I sat down today on the couch in this silence and I just started crying.
oh,
I
I
think it's
feel
just hormones. Like I was just like,
no.
hey,
It's so therapeutic. No,
therapeutic.
when my son's away, I sit here, I breathe. And lately, I'm like, I try to feel my emotions. I know it sounds,
Yeah.
I'm like, I feel sad, I feel angry, I feel happy, like all these emotions, and now
Right.
and it's so therapeutic. I need it, or else I
You
feel
need
like
it.
I'm so bloated. Like I just feel like like I
Right.
can't even sleep because I'm like,
Right.
because
And
we're
as a mom and an entrepreneur, like you just don't have time to feel. You
right.
really don't. You don't have to, you don't think about it. Like we don't, like we feel it and then we're like, okay, on to the next thing because you got to feed them. You got to give them a bath. You got to play with
Yeah,
them. You got to, you
yeah.
know, do
And
your
then
writing.
I just want to, and then when he falls asleep, then I'm like working till 3, 3, 4,
Yes, exactly.
and then or
Yeah,
I just want to veg out and like I don't know, watch Homeland, like
exactly.
like and then just to not think. But then when it builds up, it forces me to like, okay, you have to sit and
Yeah.
feel. So I read this article on Goop like last week.
Uh-huh.
Goop, yeah, and it's fun. And then it was like therapy because therapy is so expensive. I can't afford it. So I'm
Right.
like, oh, okay. And so I started doing this this exercise where I'm like, I sit and I just say I observe what I'm feeling. It's really
Mm.
helped me, Lynn. I mean, knock on wood. Like the last week, it's been really helpful because I'm like a very, how do you say it? I'm passionate, but
Yeah.
it's also like the pendulum swing. It is.
Uh-huh.
It's like and then I'm like so
Oh, yeah.
it's natural for me to like and then every time after a show and so I have to really learn to like keep myself, how do you say it, happy,
Keep
not
yourself
sane,
even
like
keel, sane, even
balance.
keel. Yeah, balanced.
It's been a
But
struggle.
I feel you though, because after every show, don't you feel like you need a day of rest?
Oh
It takes
yeah,
a lot. It takes a lot from you, not even just to produce, even just to do one, like if you're just performing in
yeah,
a big show, the next day you're like, oh
oh yeah,
my God.
oh yeah. I talked for like almost 2 hours on Saturday, so it's like
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it was hosting, so I was so excited, and it was like
Yeah.
the stage and then the lights, and I was so happy. Sky wasn't there.
Oh, I know. I know. We love our kids, but damn it, we need our time.
Bye.
We need it. We need it. We need it. Happy mom, happy kids. That's all I happy mom makes a happy kid. It's so important. Like and we do all this for our kid. You
Yes.
do all this for Sky. I do all this for Ethan. Like when they're teenagers, we want to be able to not have to do this so we can hang out with them,
Yeah.
or in middle school or whatever. Because
Yeah.
right now they're 4, like they don't need the cool Nikes and stuff yet.
Yeah. You don't need every
Yeah.
single. I go to like Dollar Tree. My husband loves
Yep.
Dollar Tree 99 cents Daiso, because he breaks stuff anyways. Why do I
Yeah.
buy him the most expensive things? And really, I feel like it's good that we're doing this too. We
Hmm.
have no more time, flexibility, right, to be
Yeah.
with them. You know
Yeah. Because they don't know yet. Right now, he loves a 99-cent store. He knows he gets a toy every time he goes there
exactly.
because it's so cheap.
And then if he like where'd it go? It's like, oh, okay, fine. I mean, it adds up though. But every 99 cents every time, but at least he's getting something.
Before we move on to because I want to talk about sweet and sour chicks, but before we move on to that, um tell us what you look for as a producer in a comedian.
You.
Huh? What'd you say?
I
Me.
you, someone like you,
What
like
does
all
that mean?
their shit, and just
Mm,
um, uh, takes it seriously. Like
mm.
humble. Don't run the time too long. Like 2 3 minutes is a long
That's a
time.
long time to run the light. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and just humble. I feel like I don't want to be around someone with a bad attitude.
Mm.
You know, like yeah, like I understand. I'm very grateful when someone says yes every time. Like, oh, that's so great. I'm excited. But if I feel like someone's like make me feel like don't really care,
Mm.
doing you a favor, I'll show up. Then I gotta go. But
Oh
I
yeah.
understand when they gotta go too. But I'm rambling. But what else? They
So you
gotta be
look for, oh, you got to be funny. Is that what you said?
yeah. They gotta be funny. They gotta be funny. If they're not funny, I'm not booking you.
So what do you do in that time? Like let's say you get submissions, right? And let's say they just don't match your show, they're not on brand. Do you email them back or you just like let it slide? Or what do you do? You just don't
Sometimes
say anything?
sometimes I email back. Sometimes it's just that I just wait. And then I wait. If they're not on brand, I don't know the brand. I feel like I just want them to be funny. Like
Hmm.
if I'm not laughing at what their set is, then I'm like, hmm, hmm. And I'm cautious of how I don't want anyone to feel rejected either, because
Mm,
I've been acting for I'm always getting rejected left and right.
right.
So
Yeah.
so sometimes I don't have the time to reply back right away.
Right.
But if they come and keep, then I like that actually. But not
Persistence. Yeah.
yeah, not too annoying, but
Yeah.
like hey, come on, hey, and then I know, and then I'm always looking on Instagram
Hmm.
because I like to see sets. Sometimes like I found you from there,
Hmm.
and then I like that they keep at it, and then maybe later on I'll see another clip because sometimes
Yeah.
they say the clip is not good. They say it's not. And then I
So
see another clip, and I'm like, oh, they're actually pretty good. Then I'll book them. You know?
would you say once a month is a good amount of time to follow up? Once a month, maybe?
Yeah,
Or like, yeah,
yeah.
something
Once a
like
month
that.
is good.
So a month is
Yeah.
good. And then
Because
like,
I book people where they suddenly message me, and I'm like, oh, okay, I need,
hmm,
oh, okay, someone drop out, or oh, I think I
yeah,
can do on 5 minutes.
because you're
Because I
busy as hell. You can't remember every single person who messages you. So it's good to like be on your radar, you know?
yeah, and I hope no one feels, I
Yeah.
mean, no one feels too bad. Like if, they, because sometimes it's just, I gotta think about, how to get people in too. I
Yeah.
people that have a history established in a way, and
Yeah.
that they're funny too. And, and I appreciate like the newbies and they promote it and
Hmm.
they, right, that's very nice too. Like I like that when they're excited about the show, then it
Hmm.
makes me want to bring them back more,
Right.
you
Like if
know?
like Lisa Sunstead, our Pretty Funny Women teacher, she's like every producer wants to hear that you're going to invite your friends.
Yeah.
Every producer wants to hear that. You're
I
like,
feel
I've been to your
like,
show. I love your show. I've watched it. I'd like to be considered. I'll promote it. The normal stuff.
yeah,
Because you're always gonna have to promote your own stuff until you're Wanda
yeah.
Sykes. Like you're not,
And even her,
you
I'm
know?
sure she probably promotes it too somehow,
Right. Yeah.
because I mean, yeah, I feel like it's important to be excited and to share. Why not? Why not? Because I
Why
know a
not
lot of
share?
don't they don't. So
That's
some
interesting, right? Like, that's so crazy to me.
comedians are interesting.
I got an email from a really big producer one time, and he or she said, "Listen, we're not selling tickets, and until you're a household name, I cannot sell tickets for you. You have to be able to build your own fan base." And I wasn't mad at it. I liked that he or she was straightforward and just told me what it was like, and it's true. Like, I just started. I'm not expecting someone to find me an audience. You know what I
And I
mean?
like your attitude about it. You know,
Yeah.
you're humble, and you know, in the short time you've done so well, and you're still
Yeah.
sharing, excited, and I don't have to ask you, which
Yeah.
is so nice. Sometimes I'm like, I know Lynn's gonna bring it. Like I don't have to, because I don't like asking comedians to bring people. Because I've done
Mm,
bring shows where I bring in like 30 people even in,
yeah.
at the comedy store. Like you know, and I understand, and I'm so grateful for the spot, but I
Mhm.
understand from the point of the comedians why a
Yeah.
lot don't like bringer shows, and they feel like, you know, it's not real. You just, you know,
Yeah.
and they don't want to keep bringing the. But my kind of show is, I want it to be different too, you know.
Yeah.
So, so I'm grateful that people are just buying tickets, you know,
Right.
Asian or white people or whoever, you know.
They like support. Yeah,
Yeah,
for
they like
sure.
to support. It's, and then I promote it in the mailing list. I promote it all the ways that I can. But you know, if the comedians, you know, bring the people on their own, that's so nice. And
Hmm.
I remember that, I pay attention.
Of
And the ones
course. Yeah.
that I put them on, they never care, or they never even share. It's almost like they're embarrassed or something. I feel
I
like
know what the hell, right? Like,
they just, it's a secret. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Unless you're really, really funny and I think you're freaking amazing, then I'll
yeah.
be back again. But if you're like that, and I'm just like, there's so many people
There's
now.
so many. You
There's
can
so
find someone who's funny and will promote. You'll
Yeah,
be
and
able to find someone.
that's why part of it is like I don't I try to put more people than usual, because you know, normal other shows that when I started I see maybe, you know, two or three or four, but I would
Hmm.
put 7 or 8 sometimes on my, like my birthday show, 10, because I just, there are only so many shows I do. I just want to have people, you know,
Yeah.
bring so they can see, but I give them less time then, you know,
Yeah.
people can see a variety. But
Right. Right.
you know, even when I do other people's show, I try to share. I share it, and I try to invite people, you know, to
You
do,
do. This is true.
you know, because it's tough. Sometimes people, especially now on Zoom, they just want to see stuff for free. I don't understand why people think it should be free. Like, what do you think we eat? Like, and then I mean the Asian community too. It's like, where have I seen you from? You know, if you're not famous, you know,
Yeah.
like Ali Wong's or Jimmy O Yang, it's like, should I buy $20 tickets to see
I
you?
know.
It's tough, you know, and I
Yeah.
understand, you know, understand where that comes from. But Asians especially, they are, their mentality is like that, you know,
Yeah.
like, which is fine. So, but it's tough. But there are a lot of them that are supporting, which surprised me too. Like I didn't know what's gonna happen the first show I did at Dow Comedy
Oh,
Studio.
and it sold out.
Yeah, I mean it's a smaller room, but I was just like,
Still sells
wow,
out.
yeah. I was like, wow, what am I doing different? Nothing.
Yeah.
It's all timing, and yeah, and the comedians were great. So
No, you said, what am I doing? You do a lot of things different.
yeah, I don't
She's trying to make it sound like anybody can do this. No, they
know.
can't.
I don't see when people tell me that. I'm like, really?
No, they
Maybe
can't.
it's my Asian side. Like I need to learn. I'm
No.
learning how to receive more. Like this morning,
Yeah.
I was meditating. I was like, I give a
Receive.
lot. I need to learn receive.
Receive. Because listen, oh my God. I'm just gonna be real. This is what this show is about. It's about the nitty gritty. We're not fluffing this. Number one, for bringer shows. I'm not against bringer shows, but the comedian has to be aware of, just because that, okay, the comedian has to be aware that just if it's just your friends laughing, that doesn't mean you're killing. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they'll do a bringer show and they have like 20, 30 people there, and then it's just all their friends laughing. They think they're killing. You just have to be self aware and know, okay, are strangers laughing? Is
Mhm.
anybody else laughing? Or is it just my friends telling me I'm doing a great job? You know what I'm saying?
Maybe that's why the comedians don't like to bring their friends, because they're
Yeah.
trying to work on the craft. Because I
Right.
always want to think the best of, you know, I don't want to be like, oh, you guys don't care, you know. So maybe that is the reason. That's a good
Yeah.
point.
Or bring friends that are like gonna be honest with you. You know what I mean? Bring friends that are really going to be honest, are going to tell you like, hey, it was great, but you know, maybe this, that, or whatever, you know, or that's number one. Number two, I've got, I mean, I've only been doing comedy for 2 years, but I've watched so many comedy shows and 90% are not good. We know
Mm,
this for whatever reason. I don't know
that's
what it is. I don't know if it's because the producer doesn't have that gift of producing and they just want to, a lot of producers when they do it, it's just because they want stage time and they just have their friends on, right?
mm,
Like just for fun.
mm.
But you just happen to have the gift. So
I think
whatever you do, it just works.
I think I always from the get go it was like my mission was like more opportunities for all the Asians, like right. And
Yeah.
so whenever I'm doing the show, I always remind myself, okay, I do would love more stage time on my own show too, but also it's like to give a voice to all the comedians that are on here.
Yeah.
So that kind of keeps me grounded in a way,
Yeah.
like really the intention about it. And I feel like that energy brings it,
Yeah.
'cause it's not just about Kiki getting her half an hour time. I'm pretty
Right,
sure
right.
the most I've done is 15 actually at the Comedy Palace. Because it's
Right.
many times like, oh my gosh, maybe like I should give but then it's like, oh, these people are so great, and I want to give them to be fair, to yeah.
Yeah.
I think that made the community, the show, to
Mhm.
have that energy.
I feel like that's a pattern. Like every time I see a producer who doesn't make it all about them, it's usually a really good show. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Because they're focused on building a platform for their comedians
yeah,
to express themselves, like you said. So that's the pattern that I've seen. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm just saying what I noticed.
right.
That's it. It's huge. Yeah. And
Your show was great too. I went to your birthday
oh,
show.
yeah, you did. I'm so glad because you found Neil, Nanda, and Willie
Oh, really? I was
on the
like,
show.
is on point. It's tight. Because some people show, you're right. There are some oh my gosh, they just go forever. People not very funny. It's
Hmm.
just chaos, is not organized. But yeah, I was very
Yeah.
impressed. I wasn't surprised. I knew you were gonna be very on point. Like,
Yeah. Because we
the show
don't,
is tight.
right. Because you know what? And plus, when we as producers bring a good audience, the comedians are more inspired to do their best material,
Mm,
right? If the producers don't fill the seats and we don't promote
mhm.
it or we don't act like we
That's
care as much, the
yeah.
comedian's like, well, I'm just gonna try my open mic material here. You know what I
Well,
mean?
people still do that on my show. I've they try to test the stuff, which is
Yeah.
fine if it's funny.
It's fine if it's funny. It's true. If we can't tell it's new material, it's fine. But once we can tell, it's like, But when I used to produce shows when we weren't in COVID, and people would ask me, "Oh, Lynn, I want producer tips." I always ask them, "Why do
Mm.
you want to produce a show?"
Interesting.
It's always important because why? Because it matters. If you're just producing a show for stage time,
Mhm.
you're gonna hate it.
And you're not gonna do it long, because
Yeah,
it's a lot of work.
it's
You're
too much.
not
Yeah.
gonna last. You're gonna do a few, you'd be like, oh, forget it. Like, I'll try to get time on stage instead. You know?
Yeah. Right. Just do other people's shows. So much easier. You just show up and do
Yeah,
your best and get out of there.
yeah.
But okay, so before we end, let's talk about Sweet and Sour Chicks,
Oh, okay.
your comedy series. So how did that start? Tell me how you came up with that idea.
So from watching Sex in the City, I love for 20
Right,
years.
because it's Asian Sex in the City.
Uh,
Yeah.
well, I don't know. Now it's evolved. Like from that, it was just like about Asian, like girlfriends, but they're Asian. Because
Hmm.
they never had an Asian. I don't think they dated an Asian really on there.
No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. But I really love the writing, the relationships. And I was like, oh, I would love to have like a show just about us, just as women. Not so much focus on the Asian part, but just
Yeah.
women who happen to be Asian. And I've been having this vision in my mind for years.
Hmm.
And then after I did Crazy Vocations, I was writing a lot. And then I did a Seed and Spark fundraiser. And well, I funded the pilot because I was bored and I was writing, and I was like, oh, let's shoot something. And
Because I was
and then
bored.
yeah, I get bored really easily. Yeah,
I'm bored. Let's do something big.
serious. My husband's like, Yeah, my son, yeah, my son's like, I'm bored. He gets that from me. I'm like, okay, honey, we'll go walk around. We'll go to the mall. He calls it Dave and
That's
Buster.
hilarious.
We'll go get a treat. Like, yeah, well,
But
like
look
I
at
get
but look at the differences. Most people, when they say they're bored, they like watch TV. You know, they're like,
oh,
let's watch a show. Kiki's like, I'm bored. Let's write a script.
yeah,
You
let's
know?
create something. I gotta create. Lately, I've been putting my keyboard out on my this table, and I'm playing again a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm exploring some musical comedy.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I love it.
Oh, hopefully. Like Neil inspired me because he did my show at the apartments
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
playing. I was like, if Neil can do it. Oh, jeez. I don't know. I'm
But
still
okay. So you were bored, you wrote the script,
yeah.
you
And
wanted
then
to do
I,
uh-huh.
I funded it, and then I did the pilot, and then I submitted to some film festival, and then it got nominated for best ensemble or best, I don't know, forgot, some ensemble or some best web series. So I was like, oh, maybe this is good. And then I was like, okay, let's try. And I had it in the back of my mind because that's just the beginning, right? The
Yeah.
end goal is to have it like a full blown series and
Right.
just casting the people that I always want to work with and
Right.
paying everyone. So and then I was like, okay, let's try this fundraiser, Seed and Spark. So it took a long time to film all that stuff and edit and then I we somehow it got green lighted. And I was like, wow, that's a sign. Because every step of the
Yeah.
way, I'm like, God, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. I give it
Yeah.
up. Okay, I'll do my
Wow.
part and you do the rest. So like I did the Seed and Spark. I had to put all these fun memes and prizes. You know how it goes. If you
Yeah.
GoFundMe or Kicks. Oh, so much work. And then so I did that, and then someone I it almost I was like, it's not gonna happen. Okay, because I can
Yeah.
only promote so much, and then I was like, okay, how many friends can I ask? Two,
Uh-huh.
3 days before, I was actually in Seattle on our tour for Crazy Woke Asians. I was
Yeah.
like, and then I get this email. I was like, oh, so and so is interested and wants to just green light the project. I was like, who is this? I don't. How did you find me? I still don't know how.
Yeah.
um he or she found me, and I'm like trying to figure out who told, like, what. So I really I'm like, oh, okay. And then it happened and green lighted, and then we started going into production, and that was a lot of work. that
Yeah.
that, that was a lot of work because I was still with my son, and he was not in preschool yet, and then I hired the people that I've been working with for the
Yeah.
pilot, and my friend from San Diego that I worked with too, and I was so lucky. And then somehow, actually, I had to find a DP, so I went on Hoo Ha Ha, that's the
Uh-huh.
thing
Right.
platform, and then I found her, Dana, and she was amazing, and we worked together really well. And yeah, it was like, oh, I want to work with more women, production,
Nice.
and then casting was a long time too. And even at that, I got you to come, and you were
Yeah.
great. Cried on the spot. I was like, oh, how you do that, man? That's
Cry on cue. Who did you
amazing.
end up casting for that role?
And, I forgot her. It's a
It was a minor role, but huh?
well, we didn't end up shooting that scene, that
Oh.
episode too, because
Okay.
the money ran out, and then it was
Ah,
so much stuff going on, and so
yeah.
I really wanted to shoot it, and I was gonna have this comedian from SNL to
Oh, nice.
faster, but it didn't. It's yeah, and it was so much work. It was just,
Yeah.
and then the money was the biggest part. I was like, should I film that, or should I just put all my effort into like the 4 episodes instead of 5?
So
So
you filmed 4 episodes for
yeah,
season one.
yeah, yeah, and they're short
Awesome.
form, so like under 10.
And
So
the season one pilot, I'm not pilot, season one preview
yeah,
is out
it,
on YouTube. Crazy Woke
yeah,
Asians.
yeah.
Hmm.
The trailer, yeah, you can
The
watch it there.
trailer. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Awesome.
yeah. So did you watch it?
Of course I did. Girl, of course. I was like, who played my part? Let me see this. No,
No,
just kidding.
nobody,
I'm just kidding.
nobody.
No, I
So
know.
so I'm thinking to, well, we'll see what happens. And so we're working on try to pitch it and show it. So I submitted to some stuff, and I'm waiting. So maybe next year to see what I'm gonna do. Like there's some stuff going on with the producers pitching it, and I submitted to a festival, but then you cannot have a premiere until next year if you get picked. So
Mm,
I'm just waiting, and waiting maybe February, March. then I'll know.
So tell us why you decided to go big and do all the pitching and getting it on networks and stuff like that versus just putting it out on Vimeo or YouTube.
Mm. Well, from the start for the series, I had in mind to pitch it.
Mm,
So even with and one of the producers that you know
yeah.
invested in this, that's his idea of it too. So
Okay.
we've been talking about it and talking about it, and because there's nothing like it right now, like
Uh-huh.
on TV yet. So
Uh-huh.
I'm with whatever. I mean, I'm game to put it on YouTube too, but the producers, they want to they invest, they want to see where it leads, and they feel like it could be something. So I'm like, okay, but of course that's everyone's goal, like, oh, rather than put it on YouTube first,
Yeah.
right? Too, but nothing wrong with YouTube. I mean, who knows what's gonna happen, right? So I'm prepared either way. So
Okay.
I'm letting it, but I will find out more in February, March when
Nice.
what we're gonna do. But the quality is good. I
Yeah.
had people do pre-screen, like like some audience, my target audience, and
Yeah.
they loved it. And the quality of it, I'm proud. Either way, if we get somewhere or I put it on Crazy Boy Asian's YouTube channel, I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I'm proud. Like I've learned, I still got a long way to go. But for me, directing and writing it and producing and starring in it,
Starring. Yeah.
just the amount of work that it took, like that I'm proud. Like even the post production was such a long process, and I had to
Mm,
get funding for that too.
yeah.
So it took a while, but yeah. And then I was even editing, like picking out the clips for the editor to edit. Like I didn't
Yeah.
just free, because we shot in multicam,
Mm-hmm.
so there's so much footage.
Yeah.
And with COVID, couldn't really sit in a room, so
Yeah.
it took way longer. But I'm glad. And then I had another editor do the final cut, so we and
Wow.
worked on it and then pass it back and forth, show like my screener audience, and then let them give me feedback and then go back. So for what it is, I'm whatever happens, like I gotta let it go now. It's
Yeah.
I did my best. It's funny. I'm proud of it. There's a story and it's fun and it's sexy at some parts, and it's just seeing the three women on screen, I was like, this is fun. This is cool. Like
Yeah.
moments I wasn't watching it wasn't me. I was just watching it, and I was like, as a product, I was like, oh,
Aw.
it's cool to see these girls just talking, hanging out. It's good. Like I feel like my dream came true. I mean,
Aw. Yeah.
big dreams, like put it on HBO or what, but just even that, I feel
Mm-hmm.
I'm grateful that it even happened, and because it's
Right.
to raise that amount of money to do anything.
And to get that quality of work that you did, that you got, because it's well made. It's a well made,
You
you
can
know.
tell by the
Yeah.
trailer, right?
Yeah.
Oh man,
You can tell.
I had to go get the drone shots later on, and it was like different team of people doing it. So, and even the trailer, it took it was like a lot of heart to make it happen. And I didn't want to show too much, so but then
Mhm.
I wanted to show what's going on.
Oh, but
But
you don't do anything small though. If you every time you do something, we know it's going to be a quality work. That's
good,
just the brand and the reputation you've already created for yourself. And you're right. Like that's an accomplishment in itself to do 4 episodes, high quality, well made,
yeah,
and you got
because
all your friends to be in it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, actually, those two girls, I never really I auditioned a lot of them, but
Yeah.
yeah, some of the roles, yeah, I got some of my friends, and then
Yeah.
my friends to film it and stuff, to pay them more. I was so happy that I got to pay them, like, and it made it
Oh,
drag. And but the casting this time, I took a lot of time because the the pilot, I casted some of my friends,
yeah.
half of it, but from the feedback, like the series, I like took so much time to cast and cast and cast,
I
and
bet.
I think it made a difference. But I forgot what I was gonna say. See, I'm getting mommy brain fog. I keep thinking of water.
And so the story is about a single mom comedian, and I was like, "Oh, that's me. I relate."
Stand up comedian.
Kiki's just a sexier version of
You
me.
you're sexy. You just like to not. You just like to
Too
not.
lazy.
Yeah,
I know. I'm just lazy.
you are
But
sexy. Come on, then. I
but
feel.
okay. So she's a single mom comedian, and that's the story, right? You're newly
Yeah,
single
she's
mom. You
newly
have a baby.
single. Husband, cheated. So it's like, she's going through this thing. She moved out. She's trying to figure out. She's trying to hide her feelings from her, 3-year-old.
Mhm.
Who's still trying to nurse.
Yeah.
Met this guy that, well, she had this crush on this guy, while the marriage was breaking apart, and somehow met him in the
Yeah.
pilot, somehow met him, and so there's like, kind of love triangle going on, kind of. It's a lot about her navigating through life, and then
Yeah.
girlfriends that are there, just a normal life,
Right.
of a woman that
Hmm.
could happen, that's a stand up and a single mom, like,
But it's also unique too because of your Asian perspective. That comes into play. Not, it's not the same as a white person's
yeah,
perspective,
yeah.
right?
And
Yeah.
from the screener audience, is that what you call them? I don't know.
I have no idea.
Whatever, they were like, yeah, I feel like there's a lot of stereotypes that you kind of kicked outside the box.
Mm,
So I was happy to hear that when, like, the people were telling me, like, oh, this is different, like we don't haven't seen it like this way, like it's not the stereotype, like how you need to be for an Asian, or so I was like, that's good, I'm glad. Because when you're doing, I'm not like, oh, I'm gonna set out to break these stereotypes and represent
right.
Asians. Like, no, I'm just
Ah,
like trying to write a story that I like, that I
yeah.
find funny. A lot of it's like I want to show the sexy side of these women, like I because you don't see, they're either really on TV, right? It's either really sexual, like a SMN, SN, what, bondage,
S&M.
yeah,
Yeah.
S&M, master, or you're just like, a submissive. So there's a balance to it. I feel like it's
Yeah.
more dimensional, like more a whole person, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just grateful that I got to tell that story. And I'm working on season 2, just to write it out, just the outline, and just something for me to do, because I'm bored too, like just writing, and I can imagine all the things that I can meet other single mom comedians. They tell me, like online dating, like I have you in mind for something, like
Writing a screenplay is so much because it goes from you got it writing for stand up, writing for screenplay, and writing a book are three very different things,
mm,
right? Right. I don't know if you've ever written a book, but like I know writing screenplay and writing stand up is two very different things.
I give it up to you, Lynn. I was like, good for her, she's writing that book. I gotta order it. I
But
want.
see, I can't write I tried to write a screenplay and I like writing dialogue, but
You can and you will,
the the scenery stuff, I'm like, God,
but you will. You can and
probably.
you will, Lynn. Let's just give it out to the universe. You can and you will. No, get the book thing.
I
I've been
just
trying to write this a book for, because my mom was writing this book, because she had cancer and she became a natural healer, and she was writing
yeah,
stuff. And I've been always wanting to write one. And then I wrote some outlines in like chapters, but it's just not happening right now. Like,
yeah,
and then because my theater stuff, I started writing a lot of theater, like dialogue and scenery. So it was just very natural for me to write the screenplay, or whatever, after that. And I watched so many shows, and I worked on like film productions too. So it's
yeah.
just kind of natural. I was reading all that scripts all the time for me to, it kind of just.
Interesting.
And I read a lot of books on writing and screenwriting, playwriting, how to tell your story. So I just kind of, it just kind of happened. And then I have people read it. When you write your screenplay, you can have people come and read it, just like a
Yeah,
theater play reading, right? And then you workshop it. It's not that
yeah.
hard. I mean, I'm saying it's not that hard. I mean, it's not
It's
easy,
not
but
hard for you.
do it. When you
No,
write
I start.
you need someone to read with you. I'm there.
Yeah, we're all gonna. I have yeah, like the screenplay. I wrote like the opening scene, but then see the thing is, I had to like, okay, I got to focus on getting this book out, and then
Yeah.
I'm gonna, so I had to like, kind of like you said, you had to put the book to the side because you did the screenplay and
See,
all this stuff.
your
So
book is gonna lead to that screenplay. Because once you
probably,
see that book, you're gonna see the full picture, and people are gonna give you feedback. Oh, Lynn, I like that story. I like that, and then all that you just take it in and just put it into your screenplay, and then make it into
interesting.
like dialogue, right? Like when you do your stand up. Oh my, you're talking to, and then the guy was like, it's
Oh yeah,
right, right.
yeah.
You can
I
imagine
know
that
my
part,
stand up is a lot of dialogue.
and then right, it is. So it will just come out easy.
I love it.
It will happen.
Dude, you think so. I love talking to people who think big like you and just fucking go for it. That's what this freaking show is about. You are your own big break. You're a huge like example of that.
No, thank you.
What is your lastly, what is your tip advice for women out there who want to start doing comedy in any aspect?
Comedy.
In any, like a screenwriter, producer, in
Do
anything.
it.
Hmm.
I just always say just do it. Just write. Just go to open mic, just write, just film something on your phone. I feel like everyone's filming stuff for TikTok these days. It's not that much difference than,
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like you don't need permission, really.
Mm.
I always think, what is the worst thing that can happen? I fail. I learned something. I mean, I failed so many times already before.
Yeah.
Like, what you see is the success is like years of failing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, when I fail, I'm like, oh, okay. And then I make it, I don't know what it is. I just turn it into a win anyways. Like if
Yeah.
there's two people in the audience, then I'll be like, well, I did my show. I did the full thing. I'm just happy I got to workshop the whole thing. I got
Yeah.
theater, I'm in a real theater. I got my name in the program or the paper, I got to, and then that led to me performing at this museum or this cultural festival, like
Hmm.
I always turn into win. Like I don't let the failure and the no's get me down too long. Like why?
Yeah.
Life is too short. Both my parents had cancer. Like
Yeah.
whatever. Like I was sick when I was young too. So I
Yeah.
kind of missed out on a lot of stuff. Like in my teen years, I had autoimmune disease. So I was
Hmm.
always fatigued. I was tired. I was depressed. So, like I just feel like why I just cannot waste any more time now. Especially I
Yeah.
have a kid. I'm giving you a
Yes,
long
ma'am.
answer. Just like go do it. What is the worst thing that can happen? Nobody comes. So you did it. You know
I
what you can
love
do
it.
next time, right? If
Yeah.
your writing sucks, nobody's laughing, it's not great. Your friend, well, now you know, so you can make it better. Nobody's done anything good the first time. Like my writing, I've been writing for so long. Like it wasn't good before. Like my one woman show, this, like it got better and better every time that I sucked. Like
Wow.
I don't know how I'm gonna be. That's what open mics for, right? You suck, you bomb, and then you go. Even shows, you bomb. Like Saturday, I did like some jokes that I've never done before. Like brand,
Yeah.
before I'd be so nervous, like I sweat. Like I sweat a lot. Actually, my
Yeah.
hands are nervous easy. But I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like there's no live audience in the audience. I mean, it's all online. Even though we're on stage, I was like, I'll just say these things. I'll just say it like conversation. I'll just feed it off of the air. I don't know, like whatever, just say it. And then I did it, and then I
Wow.
actually felt good. Like I felt good. I don't know, I felt good. Like I felt like I did it just for me. Like I did it, and it was good. And the tech people and the comedians in the backstage laughed. I
Aw.
would have never known if I was like, shoot, I should just do my, because my husband was like, do your old stuff. I'm like, because night before I'm like, it's too late. I don't know, these punchlines are not punching. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
shit. I'm like, but I'm sick of my old jokes. They're boring to me now. Like I don't
Yeah.
want to keep doing like all my life from Hong Kong and my mom. Like I want to do something new. It's the quarantine. Like,
Yeah.
and my husband was encouraging me, just do the old shit then. Don't be so stressed. I'm
What
like,
does he
no.
know? What does
I'm
he
like, I
know?
no man, I'm gonna do it. I don't care. And it
Good
was
for
like,
you.
it felt good. Like I was like, yeah, it's good. I just did it. I didn't care. So I was just trying to connect and tell what I felt. Because sometimes you know how when you try to say a joke, a new one, you're trying to land it, you're trying to make people
Mm.
laugh. So you're not really in it. I don't know about you. Like I get like that. Like I'm
Yeah.
not present. But this time it was, maybe it's because I've been doing that. I feel happy. I feel sad. I feel so I'm more in my body. My
Nice.
mom is always telling me, you gotta be more grounded. You gotta breathe. Because I'm so like, ooh, all my plans. Ooh, let's do this. Ooh, vision, right? Like, go
Yeah.
for it. Let's go. Let's go. And I'm just like 100 miles, per hour. But
You
yeah,
know,
back to your what?
you know what I want to ask you? Promise this is the last thing because I'm keeping you on
Oh,
forever.
keep asking. I don't have
But
sky. I don't care. Whatever.
no, okay. How do you, as a married woman with a
Uh,
child,
mm,
what is your advice to other women
uh.
to go out and have their own life the way you do? Because you have your own life. You don't, you produce your own shows. It's not featuring. It's not produced by Kiki and Chuck. It's just
Well,
Kiki.
you find a husband that's supportive of that. I've known for 20 years. It's just, but he wasn't always supportive before when I started doing acting stuff. But but,
Uh-huh.
but then he is. But I feel like it took a while
Mm,
and then it's healthy for the relationship. So
mm.
you talk about people that is married that wants to go out and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They yeah.
they really have to just talk to their husbands like, this is gonna help me, happy wife, happy life.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
And my husband, he understands that I need to do this. This is my passion. Like, he, even when I was trying to quit or stop or move away, he's like, this is what you came here for. You will never stop. He told me, you will.
Yeah.
So to, if you're married to someone that understands that too, that helps. But I
Yeah.
mean, you have to try, even if they're not supportive. You have to just go and do something for you,
Yeah.
because life is short. Like, if you don't try, you won't know, and you are unhappy, and your kids can feel it, your husband can.
Yeah.
And if it's meant for you, nothing's gonna get in the way. Eventually you're gonna do it. So might as
True.
well just go for it, right?
True. Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh, stand up is hard. I'm scared because I cannot put a mask on, like where you're acting, right? Like, you
Yeah.
character. This
Yep.
is you. If you suck, you suck. Like, you're
Yeah.
not funny, you're not funny. Like, I was terrified. Like, I remember the first time at Pretty Funny Women, I was taking a nap in my car. I was reciting every word on my phone. I was like doing a monologue. Gosh, it was crazy.
Oh, no.
I was like, oh my gosh, I'm sweating. I was like, I'm not gonna remember. Oh shit! Like, I was so nervous. It was
Uh-huh.
the most terrifying thing in my life. And then, of course, I act like, and I remember my hands was like this. It was like this by the time I got up.
Oh.
And be, yeah, I don't think Lisa knew this. And I was like, and then, like, cause I'm quiet and I can
Uh-huh.
look like a resting bitch face, like I'm
Oh, yeah.
like whatever, but I'm not like but it's not even like that, like people think I'm so, but I'm just like everyone, like I'm just trying to hold it in,
Right.
and then I went up there and I did my thing, and it was crazy.
Wow.
It felt good, but it was crazy.
So listen, wives out there, moms, just go out there and do it. That's Kiki's. That's a takeaway. Just do it. What's the worst that can happen? And if
Yeah,
it's meant for you, you're gonna do it anyway. So what are you waiting for?
yeah. And then if
Don't
you don't,
ask. Don't ask for permission. Just go do it.
yeah, if you
Right?
don't like it later, then you don't like it. So instead of hanging out with your girlfriends for a dinner date, go to an open mic. I
Yeah.
mean, you gotta give some and take some, right?
Hmm.
Because I don't hang out with anyone.
Me
Like,
too.
very rarely. Like, I have one girlfriend that I hang out with sometimes. Like, when, but if I go, sometimes I go to do shows or I go do my
Yeah.
open mic, right?
Yeah.
Or you know, but most of the
Even
time,
like play dates, I'm like, ooh, it just depends, Because then
play
I,
dates are hard.
I can't always do that. But no, you're right. I don't go out. I don't really, every time I'm talking to someone, it's usually about comedy
Yeah,
or motherhood, just
yeah, I'm saving the money for, if I gotta put something in the show, like gotta pay for some
yeah,
advertising or who knows, right? Like,
you never know. But dude, I have what is the word? Extreme, significant, large amounts of respect for you. Whatever the word is. I respect you a lot for what you do and who you are as a person and
right.
everything. So you make such a big difference in this world. You really do.
Sweet.
You really do. And especially for the Asian community, you're a big deal.
I don't know.
So
Sometimes I feel like I'm still an outsider of the Asian community. I'm
I
just
know, right?
feeling,
We kind of feel like, because we're not stereotypical like that, but I'm saying, you know what I mean?
it's
Like
just
you're a big deal. So take it in,
in now.
receive it,
Oh,
receive it,
I appreciate that.
receive it. You got it. All the good things are gonna happen for you, and I'm here. I'm here for it.
Oh, good things that happen are happening. Are happening.
Are happening for us.
You're gonna have a big party for your book?
No,
What?
no, it's just
Every time
gonna
you're on the show after this, you know
because
that, right?
the pre-orders are
Hey,
gonna the pre-orders are going out this month, and then next month it's on Amazon. There's no big party.
is there a physical book?
Yeah, it's gonna be physical. It's gonna
Oh,
be like a book,
okay, I'm gonna
and I'm
do it.
probably gonna do it also downloadable. We'll see. But for
Yeah.
the pre-orders, it's a physical book. Like you're getting a book.
So the first live show you do, or even if we keep doing a live stream at the Playhouse, you bring that book and we're gonna promote it.
Yeah,
You can
girl.
read a little excerpt from it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about all that.
Yeah,
It's just my stand
I
up.
want to hear. No, if I'm doing the party panel. It's a variety comedy.
Oh, okay, okay.
They were playing games. And then had
Nice.
that roast down. They're doing compliments. They couldn't laugh. Brennan
Oh
and
yeah,
Dan,
roast compliments. I love that.
oh my god, it's so funny. And they were like telling us like who got it the best for 2020. They're like telling these stories. And we did some stand up too, but it was a variety. So,
Oh,
so
good.
I mean, we're done for this year. I'm
Yeah,
done. I gotta
good for you.
hibernate and you know take some time off, and then next year hopefully. But I feel like there's gonna be a lockdown soon. So
I know.
you see,
Damn. I'm supposed to be doing a backyard comedy show for my birthday. Neil's in it again, on December
oh
30th.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, what if they do a lockdown again? But still, it's in the backyard, so it's not like,
Yeah, and if you have little people, then
yeah, it's like 20 people at most.
keep it a secret.
It's just doing a little
Have
party.
people just keep it. Yeah,
Yeah.
because they're saying they might lock it down next week or this weekend or
Yeah. But you know what? Because we
that's
can't
my
freaking get our
birthday.
shit together. We can't just, you know,
But I mean, I'm wearing my mask.
me
I
too.
outdoor. I'm staying distance. I don't know how these people are getting. I don't
But
understand.
we're doing it, but that doesn't mean most of LA is doing it or
But I
Orange
also
County or, you
well,
know.
but I also heard some people go get tests, but then they don't actually take the test. They're getting positive results
What?
by they. So I know these couple of people that went and then they had to leave. The line was so long, but they registered.
Mm.
They get mailed to them that the results are positive. And then I have my husband's coworker went and he was getting it tested. He swiped his dashboard. That was a joke that I had, and it came back positive. So his
What?
car was positive.
His
So
car was
I
positive?
don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not saying it's not real, but at the same time, I'm just like I don't.
Like, what is going on, right?
I'm
Like, there's
all
no
about the
answers.
conspiracy too. Like just lock down people. Like I don't know.
Like, what is this about? Like, I know what you're saying because it just feels so confusing. I feel like I'm in an alternate universe.
And my church's been doing this the church gathering for months. They live stream, but they also have some live audiences indoor, and
No mask, nothing.
they,
Sitting
they
in.
wear masks. They wear masks. They wear masks, but it's indoor. But I don't. I mean,
I
but
think
they
churches are.
they knock on wood. They haven't had anything, and I know other churches are doing it. They haven't had any because if they did, they would lock it down.
Right. Because I mean, listen, I stopped by Vegas, went to Utah, did a
Oh
show.
yeah,
Utah's
oh,
not big. Utah's not big on COVID and masks and stuff. And like, I didn't catch a thing.
exactly. And Vegas, I kind of want to go for New Year's just to get
No,
away. How was Vegas?
it's good. It's quieter than normal, but it's good because then
But
you
the
can
lights
like, it's good. The lights are still there. The water, the
What about
Bellagio
the
water.
lights? I'm just
Yeah,
gonna walk around with sky like, oh, there's Paris and there's I
yeah.
don't
You should
what
go.
that's
You
all I
should go
want
because
to
it won't be as crowded, which is good.
yeah, I don't
Hmm.
like all the crowd and I don't gamble and I don't I just walk around. There's no more buffets, but it's okay. I just walk around.
We don't gamble or well, I mean, I like to play poker, but we don't gamble or do weed or
Yeah.
drink or do drugs. We channel all of that into like our creativity.
Yes. Yes. Because I think that's the best way. I mean, nothing
Yeah,
against people that drink or smoke right before they go, but for me, I would just not remember anything.
I know,
Like
me too.
and then what then it's just a waste of my time. I want to remember the moment. I don't
Right.
want to be, you know.
I can't smoke weed. It makes me slow. But I'll
Oh,
drink.
oh,
I like to
yeah.
drink.
Well,
I mean,
lately,
not I won't get drunk, but I like a Jack and Coke before every show.
nice. I don't even. I just drink water and kombucha because then I'll be like, and then I
Kombucha
won't.
has some alcohol anyway, so you're
Yeah,
good.
so it's good. Or lately, I haven't been like I'm trying to not drink at all too because it's drying my skin out, and
Oh,
I feel so like I can't sleep right. Like my cycles are all
yeah.
whack when I. But yeah. Anyways, I just worry about my face. That's why
She's so
I don't want to get dehydrated.
That's why you're so pretty. Your face looks so shiny now.
Because I put a lot of shit on it, like a lot of creams. I go TJ Maxx, I go to Marshalls, but I go like bargain, man. I'm like, oh, $50 cream for like $20. This is so great. Like you get the Shiseido and like
Oh
seriously,
my god,
they
I
have
love
a great,
Shiseido.
like all the expensive stuff, like
Hmm.
organic stuff, and then it's just like a fraction of the price, and it's not expired. So why would I need to go to Macy's and get it for like $80 when I get it for 20, 30?
I used to work for Shiseido.
Oh, really? Oh, I love their stuff. It's really
Yeah, in
yeah,
my 20s. Yeah, in my
yeah.
20s, I worked at the makeup
That's
counter.
Oh, you have see, that's why I'm like, you know how to be sexy. You don't
I know, I'm
care.
just tired. I'm tired. I'm a single mom, dude. I'm exhausted.
Oh, I know.
I don't want to do none of it unless I have to.
Yeah, I know.
That's why I chose comedy, because then I just have to be funny. You know?
And you are funny,
It's
so
just my words. I don't have to like look pretty. And then when you have an audition for like a show, when I have an audition for acting, I'm like, damn, I gotta go put on makeup.
I know it's a
I
lot
gotta
of work,
dress up.
huh? Like lately, I've been doing these self tapes, and it's just like you
It's a lot
got.
of work.
But then it's kind of fun because then I'm like, oh, I'm going somewhere.
Mm,
Or else I'm just wearing my glasses. I'm just like my hair is out of control.
right.
And it's just like, and then so it's kind of like sometimes it's nice, Like
Aw.
I look nice for you. Like I'm like,
Aw.
oh, okay, because I have nowhere to go. Like what am I gonna do? Just put an earring on. Like,
Well, you look good. You
thank
look
you.
great. Okay, we're gonna have to. I have to stop the recording. Thank you so much for
Thank you
coming
for
on the show,
having me.
Kiki. You're awesome. I love you so much. I'll put all your social media handles
Yeah,
on there so they can all follow you. Crazy Woke Asians,
yeah.
Sweet and
Kiki
Sour
Funny
Chicks,
Mama. Yeah,
Kiki
sweet.
Funny Mama, all of it. All of it. Follow her. She's awesome.
Follow me. Follow me.
Thank you, Kiki.
Okay. Thanks, Lynn.